This is from Kitchen Table Wisdom. That's all I'm going to tell you about. People have been healing each other since the beginning of time. Long before there were doctors and psychologists, we were there for each other. The healing of our present woundedness may lie in recognizing and reclaiming the capacity we all have to heal each other. The enormous power in the simplest of human relationships, the strength of a touch, the grace of someone else taking you just as you are and finding in you an unsuspected goodness. Everyone alive has suffered. It is the wisdom gained from their own experiences of suffering that makes them able to heal. Sure, expertise cures, but wounded people can best be healed by other wounded people. Only other wounded people can understand what's needed. Compassion, not expertise. Oh, I knew that's what happened. So did half of you that I told. Okay, while I was still part of the Stanford faculty, I was one of a group of traditional physicians and psychologists invited to a day-long master's class with Dr. Carl Rogers, a pioneering humanistic psychotherapist. Rogers approached the therapy called unconditional positive regard, seemed to me to be a deplorable lowering of standards. Yet it was rumored that his therapeutic outcomes were nothing short of magical. Rogers was a deeply intuitive man, and as he spoke to us, he paused often to put into words what he did instinctively. From what I could gather, unconditional positive regard came down to sitting in silence and accepting everything the patient said without judgment or interpretation. I could not imagine how that might be useful. Finally, Dr. Rogers offered us a demonstration of his approach. One of the doctors volunteered to act as his client, and as Rogers turned toward him and was about to begin, he stopped and looked at the audience thoughtfully. Rogers began to speak. Before every session, I take a moment to remember my humanity. There's no experience this man has that I cannot share with him. There's no fear that I cannot understand, no suffering I cannot care about. Because I too am human, no matter how deep his wound. He does not need to be ashamed in front of me. I too am vulnerable. And because of this, I am enough. Whatever his story, he no longer needs to be alone with it. And this is what will allow his healing to begin. The session that followed was profound. Rogers conducted it without saying a word, conveying to his client simply by the quality of his attention a total acceptance of him exactly as he was. The doctor began to talk and the session rapidly became a great deal more than a demonstration. In the safe climate of Rogers' total acceptance, he began to shed his masks, hesitantly at first and then more and more easily. And as each mask fell away, Rogers welcomed the one behind it unconditionally until finally we glimpsed the beauty of the doctor's naked face. I remember wishing I had volunteered, envying this doctor the opportunity to be received by someone in such a total way. I had always worked hard at being good enough. It is the gold standard by which I decided what to read, what to wear, how to spend my time, where to live, and even what to say. I'd spent a lifetime trying to be perfect. But if what Rogers was saying was true, perfection was not needed. What was needed was just to be human. I was human all my life. I had feared being found out. Okay, what Rogers was pointing to is, of course, a very wise and basic principle of healing relationships. Whatever the expertise we've acquired, the greatest gift we bring to anyone is our wholeness. Listening is the oldest and perhaps the most powerful tool of healing. It's often through the quality of our listening and not the wisdom of our words that we're able to affect the most profound changes in the people around us. When we listen, we offer with our attention an opportunity for wholeness. Our listening creates sanctuary for the homeless parts within the other person, that which has been denied, unloved, devalued by themselves and others, that which is hidden. In this culture, the soul and the heart way too often go homeless. Listening creates a holy silence. When you listen generously to people, They can hear truth in themselves, often for the first time. And in the silence of listening, you can know yourself in everyone.